Hello. In this video, we will look at the key objectives and applications for applying the skills of including, comparing, contrasting, reflexivity, sensitivity, and flexibility for proliferating your media content across various social media platforms this week. Let's start with including. The objective of including is to prioritize representation and ensure that all voices are heard, especially marginalized or underrepresented ones. How do you apply this skill? Well, a good approach is content sharing. Here, you can share and promote the content of others, highlighting diverse voices, such as retweeting, sharing, posting, linking, commenting, liking, and being active on the content creation of diverse voices. Try to find perspectives and people who aren't typically amplified. Comparing. The objective of comparing is to analyze similarities, to draw connections, and highlight commonalities. Consider how you can promote your content on different platforms in such a way as to compare your work to other trends, experiences, and outcomes. For example, are you replicating a traditional or modern technique? Do you agree with the viewpoints in other media and point to those, link to those? How can you build your presence in a community of practice? Are there experts in your media niche whose ideas you think are worth sharing? Focus on proliferating that content this week and see if that helps build your audience. The complementary skill to comparing is contrasting. Here, the objective is to emphasize difference in order to delineate unique characteristics. Consider how to apply this skill. Consider the ways to engage your audience, such as calls to action around key points of difference between you and other creators in your media niche. For example, how is your media more inclusive? How does your approach to the media niche tackle issues of climate change? The skill of reflexivity is about fostering awareness and critical self-evaluation. This can be done cleverly. You can apply this skill in your content creation and your platform proliferation. You can share behind the scenes looks. So you might have a video essay or an episode or a TikTok or whatever your content is, and then you might share material that is a kind of behind the scenes look, where you can discuss and promote your learning process. You can acknowledge where you might have a bias and how you've addressed it. You could share threads about lessons learned or acknowledge when a viewpoint of yours has evolved due to new information. The skill of sensitivity means that you are able to address topics with tact and empathy. This can be done with your content proliferation using notifications such as descriptions and comments that the topics that you're engaging with are important but might be potentially upsetting or contentious in some way. You need to be able to justify that approach by ensuring to your audience and sharing your background information and where and how you've done your research on these topics. Another important application of the skill of sensitivity is in comment and community management. Ensure that your comment sections across platforms are moderated to the highest of standards in order to maintain respect and sensitivity. The final skill that we are working on this week is flexibility. Adapt, evolve, and change. A few weeks ago, I shared a video on the importance of updating your thumbnails. This is a common trend on YouTube at the moment, where you will post content with one thumbnail and then experiment in uploading different thumbnails in order to test how that works with different audiences. This is a crucial skill. Being flexible means adapting and evolving based on changing dynamics and feedback. The application of this skill is regularly seeking feedback. If you're not getting feedback from an audience, ask your friends, ask your family. Be willing to iterate, and of course, ask your tutors and your subject coordinator, and be willing to iterate, be willing to change, to be flexible, and adapt your proliferation strategies based on your audience responses. Okay, general tips for proliferation across platforms. Remember, each platform has its strengths and the way it's engaged with technically through the different apps. Even Instagram and TikTok, even though they have similarities, are engaged differently on different devices. Long-form videos, of course, are going to work well on YouTube, where you can take a snapshot of it and then promote that on Instagram. Or you can take a clip and promote that on Shorts on the platform and then on TikTok. Smart content creation is about effective use of the media you generate. You shouldn't have to produce a ton of content. You produce a single piece and then proliferate it across the platforms. And we're looking for evidence of that. Engage with your audience, even if you just get one comment. Engage with other people's audiences. This is one way to help build attention to what you do, and that is by being an active commenter on others in your media niche. Engage with comments, shares, and feedback. This can be difficult for some, but it's absolutely crucial, and it can provide invaluable insights and help foster your community. Cross-promote. Use one platform to promote content on another. For instance, share snippets of a podcast on Instagram. Use YouTube to announce an upcoming video. You might post a video that you have a big video essay coming. Right? All of these skills we've developed in the subject so far combine to provide a really comprehensive toolkit for media content creation. And this is the last week. So please share your content with me via Discord so I can provide feedback and help you reflect for the final DA report. Lastly, let's look briefly at your blog posts this week. In building up to your final autoethnographic report, this week you should be focusing on developing key epiphanies, which you can do by answering a set of core questions. So in your blog post this week, you want to address some or all of these questions. What did you learn this week by working on and developing the skills in this subject? What assumptions did you correct? What biases did you challenge? What challenges did you overcome? Look back at the content creation and the platform proliferation that you have done throughout this subject. What seemed difficult initially that is now easy? Or vice versa. What seemed easy but now feels really challenging? Lastly, what advice would you give to a student starting this subject next year? What have you learned that you can pass on? Remember, if you want to take your blog post to the distinction level and beyond, you want to be drawing on further academic sources to help shape the analysis of your answers. For example, in creating a podcast, you might realize that your potential audience is not necessarily like you culturally. What research can you draw on to help you unpack this realization? What theoretical dimensions can assist you in this analysis. Something like audience research on online content, for example, might help you. A reminder to check out the tutorial guides for this week and last week, which has a detailed breakdown of all the types of bias involved in content creation. And I'm going to add a special page to the Moodle site on tackling bias in content creation. We're going to look at the kind of research that you can help your analysis of these types of epiphanies in the next video. Thanks for watching. Congratulations on making it through the course, and I look forward to reading all of the final DA reports and reading your epiphanies in those reflections. I'll see you in the next video.